Everyone, Vintage Vinny here, and welcome to my eBay sales for February 2025. So I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I want to say I did very, very well for the month of February. I think keeping up with the listings and listing as much as I can at any given time has definitely helped boost my sales. If you all don't know, I have mentioned it before. I have bumped my subscription to my store. I now have a bit of, I think it's called the Advanced Store now, where I pay $21.95 and I have over 1,000 free fixed listings. So because I've been consistently listing a lot, I decided to make that change because after the 250 free listings that you get with the basic store level, folks have to pay a 30-cent insertion fee with every listing that they do. And the more of those that you list with the insertion fee, they take it out of your payouts. So I thought it was the smartest option to pay the $21.95 per month and never have to worry about going over the 1,000 listings because honestly, I won't be doing 1,000 listings per month, but at least I know that I will never have to worry about the insertion fees ever again because, like I said, listing 1,000 items in a month, that's just not possible with me. But I like to have that just for safety. So like I mentioned, we're not going to beat around the bush. We're going to go ahead and start off with all the items that I sold this month. So I was at our local Finders Keepers, I would say maybe a month ago. 2 months ago probably now because I bought this stuff in January. And I found, oh, maybe it was even in December. Anyway, so I spotted this beautiful Costa Voda Cobalt Blue Swirl votive candle holder. I did pay $7.65. Sometimes they put weird prices on stuff like $7.65 instead of like $7.50 or something. Anyway, so I did list this for $39.99. I believe I did send out a best offer of $35, and that offer was accepted. So if you all remember, back during my crazy $300 trip to the Queen City Flea Market in Cumberland, Maryland, I found 2 of these Wish pomegranate body butter and body lotion sets. I paid $2.50 a piece for these, and I believe I sent out a best offer, or somebody offered me $31, and I gladly accepted it. Forgive me, folks. Slow technology here. So this I bought at the Harper's Ferry Indoor Flea Market the last time I was up that way. And this is brand new turtle wax from 2003, so we're looking at about a 21, 22-year-old bottle of wax. I'm sure this has been long been discontinued. So I saw somebody listed one that was opened, slightly used for $18. So I went ahead and listed mine for a tad bit higher, as you can see, the $59.99. So I paid $3.75 for this, and somebody did offer me $30, and considering I only paid $3.75, I went ahead and took that because I had nothing to compare it to. So $30 I am perfectly fine with. So I'm not somebody who buys a lot of jewelry because a lot of the stuff that I'm attracted to is not necessarily like high dollar. It's just not stuff that I find around here that often. So I spotted this piece, and I just thought it was interesting with the knights on and everything, and I had no idea that this was actually a Zodiac piece by Avon from the 60s. And I paid $1.50 for this at one of my local thrift stores, and I sold it for a best offer of $25, and I felt that that was more than fair for this. So rest in peace to the Hancock Antique Mall. I found this Pampered Chef Slice and Serve Pie and Cake Cutter. Pampered Chef, I think, is one of those MLM companies where they had like Tupperware parties, 31 parties, LuLaRoe parties, etc. So I found this brand new um, for I think $5, and it did sell for full asking price of $29.99. These are absolutely exquisite. I had no idea that Viking made glass like this with the silver overlay. When I saw them, I knew they had to be something, and the feet on these definitely looked like Viking to me. So I bought these for, I think, $10 for the set of them, and I sold them for a best offer of $34. So these cute little flocked baby chicks made by Yosef Originals. I bought these when we were in Kentucky, when the gang and I were in Kentucky, and I say that I paid $5 essentially, $4.95, and I did sell them for a best offer of $18. Like I said, they did sit for a while, but I'm glad that they finally sold. Now this piece is an Amy Lacombe whimsical cat. I thought it was adorable when I spotted it at the thrift store. I did not realize until doing research on it that two of his whiskers were missing, unfortunately. But it didn't really affect the piece too badly because I actually ended up fixing the whiskers on the left because they were a little bit bent out of shape. And you honestly couldn't even really tell. It still looked cute and fun and everything. So I paid $5 for this, and I took a best offer of $18, I believe. Yep, $18 is what I sold this piece for. Very, very cute. So I bought this, I want to say, either really early last year or into. No, I think it was last year that I bought this. This is a Viking glass ruby red footed candy dish with holly leaves and everything. I paid $10 for this at one of our local peddlers malls, and I sold it for a best offer of $30. So moving right along, I spotted this piece at our local Goodwill store. This is a Corningware Christmas employee gift casserole dish from 1999. I spent $4 on this piece, and I took a best offer of $25. So I was in Goodwill one day, long story short, and I was looking on an end cap with a bunch of cobalt blue glass, and I spotted a bunch of these celestial pieces. I still have two mugs available in my store if anyone is interested in them. So this celestial stuff by Libby, if you find it, pick it up because it does sell. This is a candle cup, which I believe people back in the day, once they were done burning the candle, would use it as a drinking glass. So I did pay $2 for this, and I did sell it for full asking price of $29.99. Again, may the Hancock Antique Mall rest in peace. This is an Anthropologie scent called I Am Naked. This was in a booth that was 50% off. So I spent $12.50 on this, and it did sell for full asking price of $39.99. So this I actually found at our local Salvation Army. This is a Spring Blossom / Crazy Daisy butter dish with the lid from the 70s. I paid $2.50 for this, and I want to say I either sent out a best offer of 20 or somebody counteroffered me or sent me an offer of the $20. Either way, that's what it sold for. Now, this piece was a mystery to me when I was at the Queen City Flea Market. I had no idea what it was, and it just looked like something that had quality to it, and it looked like something functional. So I went ahead and I spent the $3 on it because it just looked like something. You know how you see something on the shelf at the Goodwill or when you're at a flea market or wherever, and you just get a sense that something is just good. And that was the case with this. So I lensed it real quick, long story short, when I was there, just to get an idea of what it was. Other things came up, like picture frames and whatnot, but I knew that's not what this was. Did that just make sense, what I said? I knew that this was not a picture frame, is what I think I meant to say. Anyway, so I took it home. After doing the haul video, I decided to go ahead and lens it again and see if anything else came up. And I even did like an eBay picture search to see if that helped. And lo and behold, this is a Mercer stainless steel knife block with tempered glass. Again, I paid only $3 for it, and somebody did pay me full asking price of $49.99. So do you all remember the last time that I went to the Fayetteville Antique Mall and I spent over $600? I mean, I found stuff left and right. I mean, Fry Glass, this, just a whole bunch of really cool things. So I want to say that I spent maybe $4 or $5 on these custard cups by Fry Glass. Um, I think these are worth a little bit more because they're easier to ship. So I got the 5 of these for roughly $4 to $5, and I sold them for a best offer of $30. Now I'm sure you all remember. Gosh, it was probably much earlier last year, maybe like early spring, that I found this really awesome Van Briggle squirrel lamp from the 80s at my local antique store. I believe it was Antique Crossroads that I found this, believe it or not. Now, this piece I did end up spending up for. I spent $37.40 because the booth was running a sale. So I can't remember if it was 15% off or 20% off. Either way, that was still a very good deal. So I did list it for $349.99. It did sit for quite a while. And somebody offered me $250, and of course I took that because I knew that that was a very fair price considering that I invested less than $40 for it. Now, the person who bought it is going to have it rewired. I think when I messaged them to just let them know about the socket being loose and everything, that she was going to have this professionally done and given to a friend as a gift. So I was very thrilled that she bought this piece. Now, you all know me and my colognes and fragrances and beauty products and whatnot. So I spotted this Tommy cologne at a place called Applejack's Resale, which is in Winchester, Virginia. If you're ever out in that area, there's a lot of thrift stores out there. Few good indoor flea markets. I usually only go to the Goodwill that's out there. I find that the other thrift stores in town are kind of pricey, but things have changed since I went up there and thrifted and such, so of course I'll see if I give it another chance. Anyway, back to the Tommy cologne. So I spent $9 on this cologne here, and I sold it for $30. So this is really cool. I spotted this in one of our local indoor flea markets here. This is a Knauf Amberina rounded hobnail glass mug, and I spent $5 on it. I believe I listed it for $16.99, and somebody did offer me $13, so I made $8 on it before fees. So not a terribly huge profit, but hey, I've never seen one of these before, so that's the one thing I like about the diversity of what I sell and what I'm attracted to when I'm out thrifting or antiquing or whatever, is that I never know what I'm going to find, and I'm always learning something. So there was one day that I was out at our local Goodwill, one of the two Goodwills that we have here in town, and I just found a bunch of glass. Like it was just a glass kind of a day, and I spotted this Fitz and Floyd White Doves trinket box. I spent $4 on it, and I want to say that I got full asking price. Yep, I sure did, of $24.99, and as you can tell, this is from 1975, so a 50-year-old piece of Fitz and Floyd. Now, this is an item I know I definitely picked up in 2023. I think that that was the first year that I actually visited the Harper's Ferry indoor flea market. This is a Morgantown Seneca Driftwood Smoky Blue pitcher. I want to say that I paid about $7.20 for this, and somebody did message me and ask if it was like the little miniature pitchers or if it was like a water pitcher, and I mentioned that, of course, this was a water pitcher. And I probably should have put that in my description because that probably would have helped it sell better, or in my title, not my description. But I was thrilled that somebody picked this up because this is a beautiful shade of blue. I mean, I've never seen Morgantown in that shade of blue before. So that was a very cool find. So I do pick up shampoo and conditioner too to resell. Funny enough, I was just saying to myself before this ended up selling that I just haven't had any luck selling it, or I've had it sit for a while and then all of a sudden, boom, this sells. This is Redken Heat Cure Pro Restoration Treatment, 16.9 ounces, brand new, never been used. I paid $4 for this, and it sold, I think, within a few days of me listing it for full asking price of $59.99. Another thing that I really don't buy a whole lot of are CDs and media. Just because CDs are, a dime a dozen. You can find them everywhere. But this one was brand new. This is a Dierks Bentley Greatest Hits from 2003 to 2006, apparently. I paid $2 for this at a local Goodwill store, and it did sell for a full asking price of $12.99. So this was really, really cool, and I believe I remember, I think it was Alex of House on Noble or in slash Chapter 2 Vintage Co. who had mentioned something about the old Rolodexes, if they're in good condition or had never been used, that do sell really well. So I spotted this at a local, actually it was a Goodwill store in Pennsylvania, and I sold it for $24.99 full asking price, and I only paid $4 for it. Sometimes I can't remember if the color of the week was what was on the item, because sometimes things sit for a while and I forget, or I just have it for too long of a period and I forget what color was on sale that day. So, running with my giant glass haul from the Goodwill store that one day, I spotted these Park Avenue clear glass tumblers. I believe I paid $2 a piece, $4 for the set. Unfortunately, one of them did have a chip right there, and of course I made sure to disclose that. But you can find Park Avenue tumblers and Park Avenue glass. It is almost like a compatible to Anger Hawking's Manhattan, which is, I think a re-release of Manhattan Park Avenue. So I paid $4 for both of these tumblers together, and they did sell for a best offer of, let's see, $28. So $4 turned into almost 30. That's pretty darn good if you ask me. So I'm telling you guys, if you don't look for your beauty products at your thrift stores, I recommend you start doing so because you just never know what you're going to find out there that's worth money. So this is Signature Club A. I've sold a couple of products by this company before. This is Precious Moroccan Argan Oil. It's a facial firming gel that was brand new and sealed. I believe I bought this for $6. I bought this at the thrift store that's local here that helps support the military. This place, if you rack up enough points and you're a part of their reward/loyalty program, you get $10 off of your order. So I want to say that maybe I got this a tad bit cheaper than what I wrote it down for, but um, I usually, when I take pictures of my items, I will, of course, remove the tag, and then I'll stick it back on there because I never know when it's going to sell, and I want to remember exactly how much I paid for it because sometimes too much time just goes by until it sells. Anyway, so I did wind up selling this for full asking price of $29.99. So this is awesome. Anytime I find old Victoria's Secret stuff, I like to look it up and see if it is worth anything because some of the stuff they don't make anymore. And another long story short, my mom really liked this stuff called Vanilla Lace that I found at another thrift store here, and I want to say I spent $10 on it, and I sold it for $80 eventually. But when I was at the Queen City Flea Market the last time, I found a bottle of it, and it looked like the lotion had solidified. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance for $2, and we were able to liquefy it again by putting it in hot water and letting it sit. So now my mom has a really nice vanilla lace scented lotion, and she didn't have to spend $80 on it. So anyway, I paid $6.99 for this at a Second Avenue thrift store when I was out with the Old Curiosity Shop in his neck of the woods. And this ended up selling for a best offer of $37. So I thought that that was a really good return on investment. So around Christmas time, our Salvation Army here gets a lot of really good stuff in, or they like save all the really good stuff for the holiday season because they know they can ask a little bit more for things and they'll sell better traditionally because people are out shopping. So one day I decided to go over and look at their jewelry slash perfumes, and they had a whole bunch of really good ones in there. And I just couldn't pay what they were asking at the time because it was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. Gradually, after the holidays went over, they started marking that stuff down, and some of the stuff had still been there from the holiday season, and they'd marked it down, I think, 2 or 3 times. So I jumped the gun and bought a whole bunch of the stuff there. I want to say I spent like $65 on beauty products. So this was marked down to $15. This is an Evening in Paris perfume gift set from the 1950s. I had it listed for $39.99, and I believe somebody offered me $32. So just a little over doubling what I spent on it. So I was fine with that. So I'm sure all of you have heard of the brand Paul Mitchell. I love the tea tree shampoo that he has. The lavender mint is my favorite personally. So one day I was at our local charity thrift store that's run by a church, and I spotted this Paul Mitchell Shines hydrating hair color solution, and I paid $2.50 for it, and it did sell for a best offer of $27. So I felt that that was more than fair considering I only invested less than $3 into it. Now, this completely surprised me because I had no idea that old Crabtree and Evelyn stuff had a following. So I'm at the one thrift store that supports the military, and I'm looking at all the candles and candle holders and whatnot. And I spot these incense cones, and I'm like, oh, well, those look interesting. I've never seen those before. So I ended up spending $1 on this, and not even, I think, 24 hours went by, and somebody had bought this one for full asking price of $49.99. So if you see these out and about, pick them up. Now, this is something that I remember spotting at the Goodwill, and I was like, what in the name of hey howdy hey is that thing? And come to find out, this is actually a harder piece of corning to find. It's not considered rare, it's just not something that a lot of people see out there or know exactly what it is. So this is actually a terrarium base or like a plant base, and I guess a flower pot sits on top of it, the water collects in it, and so forth. So it's a very unique piece, something I'd never seen before. I paid $1.99 for this at a local Goodwill store. Well, actually, it's not local; it's about 20 minutes away. Anywho, so I believe I sent out a best offer of $20, and the person who was interested accepted that offer. So that's really, really cool. And yet again, running with the uh, incense cones, I found 2 boxes of these, and I paid $1 each for them. This one, I think, sold a couple of days after the first one did, and I didn't have them listed that long. Somebody offered me $40 for this one, and of course, because I only invested $1 into them, I gladly accepted. From that same thrift store that supports the military, they get a lot of really good beauty products, and sometimes it's priced, it's still priced fair for what it is. I just can't do anything with it, or it's not something that is really worth my time to pick up to sell. But this is Avon Tahitian Holiday Eau de Toilette Spray. It is not a full bottle. I do believe I paid $1 for this, and it did sell for. Oh, I'm gonna flip my camera. It sold for full asking price of $20, 19.99. So that was a very good return on investment. Oh no, I'm sorry. It sold for $15. I'm looking at something else completely different. I apologize. That Tahitian perfume was $1, and I sold it for $15. I think I sent that offer out. Now this is something that I've had sitting for probably over a year. This is a Conair Foot Spa from 2003. This sat in somebody's basement. I can tell you that because there was water damage on the box. I did open up the item, of course, before I bought it to make sure that it was new, and it was. So it was a 21-year-old bath foot spa that hadn't been used. I think somebody may have received it as a gift and just never used it, so they decided when they were cleaning stuff out to donate it. And I paid $15 for it. I had it listed for $150, and anytime I see that I have interested buyers and stuff, I always send out offers. And I offered $100 for it, and they gladly accepted. Again, running with all of those beauty products that I bought at the Fayetteville Antique Mall that one day. That Skin Collagenesis stuff is some high-end product. Let me tell y'all, I have made a lot of money on this stuff. I'm not kidding you. You see any of this stuff by Skin Collagenesis, please pick it up if it's brand new and sealed and it's a good price because it does sell. So this was one of the products that I paid $5 for, and I wound up selling it for $62.99, so full asking price. I'm telling you guys, beauty products, depending on what they are, can bring you money. I mean, this is proof. The proof is right here in the pudding. So another item that I picked up locally here, like literally just right around the corner from where I'm at, is a Helena Rubinstein Heaven Scent perfume. This is a 2 fluid ounce bottle. I paid $2.40 for this. I believe I sent out a best offer of $35, and that is what this sold for. So I want to say that I've had this, I think maybe the last time I was able to shop the Hancock Antique Mall. This is a 1950s McCoy Pottery Chicken on Nest cookie jar. I paid $6 for this from the local church-run thrift store that's up there. And with a minor flaw, it's still sold for full asking price of $49.99. So I was in our local Goodwill store, and I'd never heard of this brand before, B. Burago. It looks like it was a model car, like a scale modeled car. I paid $2 for this piece, and it did sell for full asking price of $19.99. Now, these were very interesting. I had never seen these before. I felt them at the Queen City Flea Market when I spotted them, and they definitely felt like quality. I even put my black light up to them, and they glowed. That is not to say that there isn't good quality red glass out there that doesn't glow. It's just sometimes I feel like if there's a glow to it, I feel like that it's just a little bit better quality than a 70s flashed piece of glass. If you get what I'm saying. So I spent $6 on these pieces, and they did sell for. Did I even write these down? Yeah, I think I did. I think I spent $6 on these, and they sold for $19.99. And let me tell y'all something. It took me a while to find out who made these. I knew they were candlestick holders. I just didn't know who made them. Because a bunch of other things come up, like an Avon votive holder, and I'm like, these are definitely not Avon. I grabbed them because I knew that they were something. I just didn't know what at the time. So I was pleasantly surprised to finally figure out who these were made by and that they had a little bit of a worth to them. And the final item that I was able to sell for the month of February, that literally just sold today as I film this, is a Clinique compact mirror. I've actually had one of these in the past, and I sold it for. Funny enough, it sold, and then the gentleman who bought it for his wife asked if he could return it because it wasn't the right size. But then it ended up selling again, and then I found another one, and I believe I paid the same price for this one, $2. And somebody offered me, or no, I'm sorry, I sent out like a 10% off. I took $1 off of it, and they gladly accepted it. So the Fostoria candlesticks need to be shipped out as well as this mirror. And I think just one other thing. So, folks, that concludes my eBay sales for the month of February 2025. I hope you all are doing well with your sales if you sell on this platform. If there was anything that surprised you from this past month that I sold, let me know down below in the comment section. I'm always curious to hear what y'all have to say. So I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.